We've got a lot to plug in today. Angle relationship. And the first thing we got to talk about is naming angles. Now, Monday we classified angles as acute, obtuse, straight, or right. Classifying them. They have certain names. But if you're naming angles, we use letters. We're using letters. And I changed the black. I'm out of juice. Use letters. Sometimes you use only the vertex letter. Sometimes you use only the vertex letter. That is possible. You can also use 3 letters to name it. And I'm now going to show you, when you finish writing that, I'm going to show you those ways. Show you those ways. This first angle, sitting off by itself. No, not that yet. This one right here, sitting by itself. What is its vertex? Letter B. So I can name this angle symbol and a B. That is angle B. Angle B. Okay? I also can name it with the 3 letters that are on there. Angle A to B to C. Notice, where is the vertex letter?
In the middle.
In the middle, just like on the angle itself. The vertex is in the middle. So maybe you need to put in here vertex letter in middle. Vertex letter in the middle. Alright. Do anybody see another way you can name that thing? Birthday boy. Go the other direction. C to B to A. That is 3 ways of naming that angle. There is one other way, but I didn't have anything with it. I could put a number in there and call him angle 1. If I have a number inside the angle like that, you can name it angle 1 and not worry about the letters. That's just a little side note. Okay? How about over that? Whew. Look at this bad boy. I see a lot of angles. Do you?
Yes, sir.
Mezzing, good night, that last class is killing me. How about that? Look what I have written here. I call these complex angle pictures because I see a lot of angles in there. How many angles do you see in there, Stephen? 3, okay. Does anybody see more than 3? What do you see?
I see 4.
4. He sees 4. How many you see?
5.
He sees 5. Just a little side note. Do you see that one? Right there, okay? Do you see this one? Right there. Do you see that one?
Yes.
3. Very good. Do you see this one?
Yes.
Ignoring that. Ooh. Do you see that one? Ignoring this. And do you see this one? 6. 6 angles. Broaden your mind. Okay? Deep, deep. That's just a little side note. I see 6. You've got to see things with other things covered up. Okay? All right. Just a little side note there. 6 of them. All right. But I want us to name the one that's colored in red. Talk to me, Mom. Name the one in red. And I will say this, you cannot name it with one letter. Why?
Because Y has multiple.
There's multiple angles using Y as a vertex. So this cannot be angle Y. I don't know which one you're talking about. Are you talking about this one, this one, this one, this one, this one, or this one? Right? So I have to use how many letters? 3. So what do you think, brother? Dakota. Angle. D to Y to C. There's one way. There is a second way, right, Tuck? What's the second way?
C, Y, D.
Oh, what a dingle. Sorry. Angle, go the other direction. C, Y, D. Either one of those is acceptable. But you got to make sure that Y is the vertex in the middle.
Isn't just
Okay.
angle Y? No.
I already said I can't call it angle Y. Because angle Y could be this angle, or this one, or this one, or this one, or that one, or that one. Can't just do Y. Too many angles up there. You can if it's a single angle by itself. But if you see a complex group of angles, you can't just use one letter unless that one angle has a number in it. Now can we name it one little thing?
No.
We can name it angle 2. Is everybody with me on that? But if that 2's not there, we have to use 3 letters to name the colored in one. Yes, ma'am?
What if they all have numbers? Do they all have numbers?
Yes. And when you get into high school geometry, it's going to have a 1, 2, and a 3, or a 5, 6, and a 7. And then you can denote which one you want to talk about. We'll go there later, okay? Rice?
But can the one with the red hat, it can have a 1 in it?
Could this be a 1? Yes, it could be any number you want it to be. All right. All right, that is naming angles. Okay? Now, right there, and glue that piece of paper in the next part, right now. Right, it's going to hang off the edge and we'll cut it later. What I'd do is I'd glue it right next to the spiral metal stuff, and then whatever's hanging off the edge, we'll cut off later. I know it doesn't fit. Don't it? The other way. Slide it this way, dude, so you can close your book. There you go, like that. And let it hang off the outside edge, and we'll cut it off. All right. Glue that in there really quick. Really quick. And then I don't like it. I'll accept it for thee. All right. This thing will come up, we'll start looking at it. Boom, there it is. How good's it filming up there?
Good.
Really good. Awesome. Oh, you're moving it real hard now. You better set it down or something, dude, so it won't shake and bake. All right. Now let me point something out to my friends right here. Garandog T. Garandog T-U. Garandog T. No, that's terrible. I need to focus. Garandog. One like this is going to be on the tax test. They don't get to issue us a protractor on the tax test, do they? They will already have it copied on the paper, and they will have angles drawn on the protractor. And they will tell you what is the measure of such and such angle. They will ask you the measure of such and such angle. Okay? So, we have to understand how to name this, because look at the instructions. Find the measure of what? A three-letter thing, right? So I've got to find the measure of VZX. And so, on any paper that you see that's giving us that, this is the key. So circle that guy, because that's what we're really worried about. So, how important was this first part today? Pretty important. I need to know what we're talking about. Alright, so, first thing we want to do, after we do that, trace the angle you are asked to measure. Pardon me, ma'am. That man was coming through. Okay. Trace the angle you are asked to measure. This one is telling us to measure VZX. Start at V, trace across to Z, and then to X. X is this line that goes right through there. That is the angle we're trying to measure. And this is the type of question they will show you on the tax test, whether you know how to measure angles. They'll have a complex set of angles in there, but they only want you to measure one of them. V to Z to X. Now, put a and a right there. I'm going from there to there. I'm going from there to there. All right, man, come and do. All right. Now, mark out what is not needed. Mark out what is not needed. Oh. That man. Oh. I don't need this W, do I? So just scratch it out. What other piece do I not need? The Y piece hanging right here. I just want to concentrate on my traced piece. Red to there to there. Here's this pencil to pencil to pencil. Okay. Now, count the, I'm using blue. Count the degrees from one edge to the other edge of angle. Now, I'm not talking about the edge of the protractor. I'm talking about the edge of the angle. Remember we had edges of angles the other day in our definitions? We're talking about the edge of the angle to the other edge of the angle. I'm just showing you the easiest way to do this. That was not fun. All right, I got it that time. All right, now class, it's very simple. You start here. Do I count by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10?
No.
How about we just go 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100, 110, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 65. It's not all the way to 170. It's between 160 and 170. Looks like 165. Answer choice B. Now, you may be wondering, well, that's just like I measured the other day, right? You all agree? It is an obtuse angle. My answer, I can automatically mark off D because D answer is acute. Right? It's got to be an obtuse number. And you may be wondering, well, that's just like we did the other day. Well, you look at our next example. This is usually the type of problem, and I disagree with the state of Texas. I'm putting this on film, and I shouldn't, but that's all right. I disagree with the state of Texas because if you read this, this one says, I want to measure XZW. So I go over to X, trace it, X to Z to W. Mark out that one and that one. Boom. Look at the angle. There to there is what I'm looking for. And here's where I disagree with the state of Texas. They want us to measure this angle, the red one there. But if you use the protractor correctly, we're supposed to rotate this thing, aren't we? Make this thing run along the bottom. And then just look over here and see where this one crosses, right? But that's not what this says. Because it's on paper, I can't rotate my protractor, can I? I'm using the device incorrectly. The device is made for me to rotate so I can measure correctly. But the way this is done and the way they test us on it, in my opinion, is the wrong way using the measuring device. We can still get the answer. I just don't like the fact that we're using the device wrong. I should rotate it and measure correctly like the measuring device is designed to do. But they don't let me do that. So we got to do something with this. That's why our last step says count between the edges. So we're going to come up here and we're going to go start here. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80. So write an 80 on there. And that is answer choice C. 80, answer choice C. Now, this is a very easy concept, isn't it? Once we get that thing traced, all you got to do is count the degrees on there and you got the answer. This should be one of the easiest problems on the tax test, right? Should be one of the easiest problems in geometry. You just look, okay, count from this edge to that edge, boom, you got your answer. I just don't like that we're using the device wrong. Okay, y'all understand where I stand on this? I do not like that we're using the device wrong. It's still an easy problem to get the answer. We're just using it wrong. But They won't listen to me. I went down to Austin, had a meeting with some folks down there, and tried to explain to them. But look, we're using the measuring device incorrectly. They need to know how to. Doesn't matter as long as they still got to be over it. So I quit mouthing. They keep putting them on there. So it's easy to get the answer. It's just the wrong way of doing it, in my opinion. All right, but it is easy. Don't be scared of those kind of problems. When you see it on a tax test, you ought to be going, yeah, baby, this is an easy one. Okay? Trace it, count between them, and you got the answer. All right, lights over there, homie. We're ready to rip. All right, now let's continue. Ready? Okay, we're going to have something like that. Woo! Oh, no! I pulled my screw out. Well, I have to do some work. All right. That was not funny. All right. Now, we have named angles, and now we know how to measure complex group of angle pictures. We can pick one of them out. We can measure that one that we've picked out. All right. Now, let's talk about some things about some angles. Congruent angles. Definition of a congruent angle. Two angles that are fancy word for equal. We use the word congruent in geometry instead of the word equal. You will find that when you get to high school geometry. We use the word congruent instead of the word equal, yet they're synonyms. Technically, they're synonyms. They mean the same thing. When you hear someone say congruent, your brain should think equal. The symbol for congruence is the equal sign with a snake. Okay? Equal sign with a snake. Unless they've changed it on me. So that's a simple definition. And so if you ever hear anybody say they're congruent, it means they're equal. Okay. Vertical angles. Angles formed by crossing lines. Angles formed by crossing lines. You cross two lines, you have formed vertical angles. Fancy word for no. Fancy word for they're opposite each other. Vertical means they're opposite each other. So those two are vertical. Star and star are vert. Star and star are vert. What else do you see?
The two others.
What two others?
Top marble.
Oh, watch out walking now. That guy and that guy are also opposite each other, so they are vertical. So you're daydreaming, girlfriend. Come on. Dot and dot are vert. Dot and dot are vert. Woo, doggy. Oh, yeah. Vert angles are congruent, which means equal. Very important. Every stinking one of them. I mean, you look at it. I mean, use your sense of sight here. Doesn't the opening here look the same as the opening there? What about this big opening here and this big opening here? They look the same. Same in mathematics is equal. In geometry, equal is congruent. So vertical angles are congruent. Which means, if this is 48 degrees, what is this guy? 48 degrees. If this one is 132 degrees, what's this guy? 132. Because they have to be congruent. They have to be equal. If they're opposite each other, they equal each other. They're congruent. Hard concept? Easy one. Brand new words, but it's easy, isn't it? Brand new word, it's easy. It's just saying something equals something. And they're opposite each other because look at them. They look alike. Okay? Ron, can it wait till my office? Can it wait till my office? Okay. All right. Now, let's go to complementary angles. Different concept, Mr. Glue Man. Different concept. Here we go. Complementary is two angles that add up to 90 degrees. Complementary. You're going to abbreviate complementary from now on. Comple. Is that okay? That's an awful long word. Comple. Two angles that add up to 90. If you have two angles and you add their degrees up and it equals 90, then you call them complementary angles. What do you think? What do you think? Are those complementary? Well, yeah, they add up to 90. What do you think? No. Hey, but it has a box in there.
It's a right angle, but it's not.
It's got a right angle box in there, though, y'all.
They're not equal. They're not both equal.
And you should say, I don't care.
I don't care.
I don't care. The numbers we put in there are wrong. So no, this one's not complementary. I don't care what kind of box they put in there. I don't care what it looks like. 20 and 60 does not equal 90. They're not complementary. Everybody with me? All right. I'm supposed to use my hand. You like that one? Are they complementary? These two angles complementary.
No. Oh, 45. I thought they said 40. Never mind.
All right, that's right. Now, if they're separated, it don't matter. If two of them are side by side, it doesn't matter. When you add them up, if they equal 90, yes, they are complementary. Okay? You with me on that? They can be complementary even though they're separated. They can be complementary. They're side by side. But you always have to check. Do they add up to 90? If you're told they are complementary, but one of them's missing, can you find it? Come on, Bryce.
90 minus the angle it shows.
if they're telling me they're complementary, that automatically says, hey, they equal 90. So I know they're 90. One of them's 53. You take that away from the 90, it leaves us with the other one, doesn't it? Is everybody with me on that? Because if you look sideways over there, we got some of those. So what is X? 37. What do you think? Can we find missing ones if we know that they're complementary? Okay. Supplementary angles. Oh, I wrote down here in my stuff. Supplementary angles. Apologize. Two angles that add. Uh-oh. This sounds pretty familiar. Up to. Oh, what's the other fancy number that's always there? 180 is a special number in geometry. Very good. 160 is not a special one.
I said 360.
Oh, and then the other one is 360. Good job, brother. You're right. There are certain angles that are kind of special in geometry. 90 is one of them, 180 is one of them, 360. We're going to deal with this one. Supplementary is when two of them add up to 180. Oh, yeah, Rocka. Drew it too big. Too long, excuse me. What do you think?
Nope. Oh, yes, yes, yes.
Yes? Add them up, 180. What if they're connected? What if they're connected? What if they're connected? Doesn't matter. Do they add up to 180? Now, I'm winking at you. What is this angle right here?
Straight.
How much is a straight angle? Tuck. If I take that part of that straight angle, add it to that part of the straight angle, does it make the straight angle? 160 plus 20 makes from here all the way to there 180. So it's supplementary. Now, same question as a minute. Well, if you want to abbreviate suppla, okay, suppla. Again, if I do this, and I put a question mark or an X or a Y, I have one missing. Can you find the missing one?
Yes, sir.
How?
Subtract 180 from the other
Right.
angle.
If they're supplementary, I know they have to be 180. I've got 30 of it. What's left? 150. Everybody with me on that? Boy? Boy. Now this last little thing right here, some angles are neither one. If you add them up and they don't make 90 or they don't make 180, then you can't call them nothing but neither. They're nothing special. They're nothing special. Now, do you think students every year get these two mixed up?
Yep.
It says complementary and students think 180. Or it says supplementary and they think 90. You think I've figured out a trick way of doing it?
Yes.
I bet I have. Watch this. Complementary. Close in the C makes a 9 with the O. Complementary has to be 90. Close in the C and it makes a 9. Doesn't it? And you have a 90. Then you can just remember complementary is 90. That means supplementary has to be the other one, right? Some people do supplementary. Blah, blah, blah. Some people do that. Close in the S, it turns into a 8. Just put a 1 in front of it. The U becomes a 0 and 180. You can use that if you like. Tay? Tay, let's do some examples real quick. Oh, here we go. Read what it says up there, brother. Why not?
Find the value of x.
Find x. That means someone not paying attention today, she's going to be lost. She's daydreaming. No, not the one I'm talking to. Yeah. Just like the other day, she wasn't with me, and then she got lost, and then she couldn't explain it to the person that was absent because she skipped a day. Here we go. We got a missing part. That guy. Supplementary, complementary, or what?
Vertical.
Vertical. They're opposite each other.
They're
If
same.
that's 63, what's x? Well, duh, this is hard. Vertical angles tell me if they're asking for one that's opposite the other one, it's going to be the same. Verticals are equal. Notice it's not right next door to it, is it? If it was right next door to it, it would be supplementary because of a straight angle, right? But it's not. It's opposite, so we go vertical. All right, right here. What does it say? They're supplementary. We already know they're supplementary. How do I find missing? 180 minus 115. Five, 6, 0. X is 65. How hard is this, y'all? Now, there's a lot of bull up there. A lot of heavy brain stuff. But is it hard? Once you get it down, it's easy work. What does this say? They're complementary. What does that mean to you?
90.
90. One of them's missing. 90 minus 53. 7, 3. What's x? 37. Oh, well, I'll read it. Shh, don't tell nobody. Some of them didn't figure it out. All right, here we go. This one has no words with it. It's just a picture. How do you know it's supplementary, Dakota?
Because the bottom line is straight across.
Straight angle. Straight angle means 180.
And then there's two, it says two angles.
Two angles make that whole thing. So they're supplementary, automatic. So 180 minus 62. 8, 1, 1. What's x? 118 degrees. Are y'all freaking out because it's so hard? No words on this one. How you know, buddy? It has the box that automatically tells me it's supposed to be 90, which means it's supposed to be complementary. This is supposed to be 90. One of them's missing.
It's not 90 already.
Take it away from 90 and I bet you'll find the missing one.
63.
You're ahead of me. Good job. Very good. Uh-oh, this is nothing but words.
You gotta draw it.
I don't have to draw nothing. That's a good idea, though, but I don't want to.
Draw a straight line.
No, I don't want to draw. Yes?
You just take,
No, don't take nothing.
Read it.
Read it. Okay, what does it say?
2 angles.
Two angles are...
Supplementary.
Ah! Oh, that's pretty important. What does that tell me? Okay, what else? One is 36. What's the other? Well, that's just like that without the picture.
4.
The missing angle is 144. Kill it, dude.